Hi, I'm Ellen. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you're returning, I'm truly glad you came back. I spent 2 years apologizing for being tired. Sorry, I can't go out tonight. I'm just really tired. Sorry, I'm not more social. I've been really tired lately. Sorry, I need to leave early. I'm so tired. I said sorry so many times, it became my default greeting. I thought tired was my character flaw, my personal failing. I didn't know it was my soul's way of screaming for help. And I definitely didn't know that the day I stopped apologizing would be the day I started healing. The exhaustion crept up so slowly, I didn't notice it becoming my new normal. I'd been running on empty for so long, I forgot what full even felt like anymore. But this wasn't the kind of tired that sleep could fix. This was something deeper. This was the exhaustion of constantly translating yourself for a world that speaks a different language. I was tired from explaining why I needed quiet, why crowds felt overwhelming, why small talk drained my energy. I was tired from pretending I had the same capacity as everyone else when my nervous system was working overtime just to exist. But the worst part wasn't the exhaustion itself. It was the shame that came with it. I watched other people bounce from event to event, conversation to conversation, and wondered what was wrong with me. Why couldn't I keep up? Why did everything feel so much harder for me? I started believing there was something fundamentally broken about how I was built. The guilt became heavier than the tiredness itself. I felt like I was constantly disappointing people, constantly making excuses, constantly falling short. So I kept pushing, kept apologizing, kept trying to force myself into a life that didn't fit. But pushing through soul tired doesn't restore you, it empties you. I started feeling disconnected from my own life, going through the motions, but feeling disconnected from everything. The breaking point came on a Tuesday evening when a friend asked if I wanted to grab dinner. Such a simple invitation. But I felt this overwhelming wave of exhaustion at the thought. Not just tired, completely depleted, like someone had drained every ounce of energy from my body. And for the first time, instead of apologizing, I just sat with that feeling. I realized I had been treating my exhaustion like a moral failing instead of information my body was desperately trying to give me. What if I wasn't broken? What if my nervous system wasn't faulty? What if I was just overwhelmed from trying to be someone I wasn't designed to be? That night, I made a radical decision. I chose rest without apology. I turned off my phone, made some tea, and just stopped. No guilt, no shame, no elaborate explanations to anyone about why I needed space. And something beautiful started happening in those quiet moments. I began to distinguish between different types of tiredness and what each one actually needed. Physical tired needed sleep, but soul tired needed solitude, understanding, and gentle care. I learned that my sensitivity wasn't a bug in my programming. It was a feature that required different maintenance. The healing didn't happen overnight. It was messy and nonlinear. Some days I felt strong. Other days, the exhaustion came flooding back. But I was learning to listen to my body instead of fighting it. I discovered that rest isn't giving up on your life. Sometimes it's the only way to get your life back. Slowly, I started feeling human again, like I was coming back to myself after a long absence. Your exhaustion isn't a character flaw. It's information your body has been trying to give you for months, maybe years, and learning to listen to it might be the bravest thing you ever do. You don't need to apologize for needing what you need. You don't need to explain why your nervous system works differently than others. You don't need to prove you're worthy of rest by being exhausted enough to deserve it. Sometimes, the most radical thing a sensitive person can do is simply stop apologizing for being tired. You don't need to explain that you need quiet time to recharge. It's okay to leave social events when your energy is depleted. Stop apologizing for having different limits than the people around you. Your sensitivity requires different care, not less care, and that's perfectly valid. Rest isn't selfish. It's survival for souls like ours. And honoring your needs isn't weakness. It's the deepest form of self-respect. You deserve to exist without constantly explaining why you need space to breathe. Thanks for being here. I hope this helped, even in some small way. If it did, maybe stay with me a little longer. This next video might help even more.